If you're looking to install a custom shooter rod for your Venom Pro, Venom Premium, Venom Limited Edition, or any other Stern pinball machine and need a tutorial and guide on how to get that done, just save this video and come back to it later. Also, we're going to review and unbox this new custom Venom Pinball Shooter Rod that I got from a seller on Etsy, a 5-star seller called CRCades. I'll have a link in the video description below. This particular shooter rod set comes with 2 pieces. You get a new faceplate to put on the front of the holder for your shooter rod, which is cool. It's got some nice Venom artwork on it. It's 3D printed. That didn't seem to be the best quality, but when it came to the shooter rod itself, I was very, very impressed with what they came up here with. I mean, this particular shooter rod is absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And the head, hand painted, made of fantastic quality of materials. Like, he charges $125 for this 2-piece set, and I could see why. This shooter rod that's 100% handmade is absolutely stunning. There's a few other shooter rods out there on Etsy. All of them have Venom with his mouth closed, and in my opinion, it kind of looks like a sperm. This one with the fangs showing looks awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and get this thing installed. Step 1, go ahead and power off your pinball machine. Make sure it's powered off. Always unplug your pinball machines when you're working on them. Even though if it feels like it's not necessary, it's a good idea to do so. We're going to open up the coin door. We're going to remove the latches that hold the lock bar down into place. Once those latches are removed, we're going to obviously take off our lock bar. Once our lock bar is removed, our glass is going to start sliding. Be careful that you don't drop it, and make sure your coin door is closed so your glass doesn't break on it. Go ahead and remove your glass. Once your glass is removed, reach down under here and push up and get all the pinballs out of there. We don't want the pinballs flying around when we lift the pinball playfield up. Venom Pinball should have a total of 4 pinballs that you should be able to shoot up. Once that's done, go ahead and lift the front of the machine and go ahead and pull it out a little bit. And then once it's out, you're going to go ahead and stand it up. And once it's kind of stood up, you're going to keep pulling it a little bit forward. There's a little notch there for you, so you know it's in the right place, and lean it up in service position. Okay, go ahead and grab a Phillips head screwdriver. There's a total of 3 screws we need to remove our shooter rod and shooter rod housing. Those 3 silver screws right there. You do not need to remove the red screws or bolts that you see there. Those hold that metal plate on the inside of the pinball machine. We're not taking that off. We're just removing the shooter rod and housing, so we just need to remove those 3 screws. I would recommend that you use a magnetic screwdriver, because one thing that stinks about pinball machines is when you drop screws and washers inside the machine and then you got to fish them out, so having a magnetic screwdriver helps, as well as make sure it has a long neck on it, because the one screw on the right and the bottom are super easy, but that top left screw is a bit hard to get to. You're going to want to use a longer Phillips screwdriver to get in here. Mine was just a little bit too short, had to change out for a longer one. With those 3 screws removed, it should slide right out, and now my excitement builds because I can't wait to put the new one in. Okay, since we want to reuse the stern housing, the stern hardware, the springs, the washers, all that stuff, the only thing we're changing out is the rod itself. Well, we got to pull and crank and yank off this rubber tip here at the bottom. So go ahead and hold it firmly with one hand and just yank really hard and you'll get that rubber tip off. And this is why I do this over a table. Some people actually do this while it's still mounted inside the pinball machine, but you got to get a flathead screwdriver inside this clip here at the end of the shooter rod, and you got to go ahead and get that clip popped out. And you try and hold on to it with multiple fingers, and it could either fly or fall out, etc. And you don't want to lose it, and you don't want to break that clip. Once that clip comes out, you can take out the washer, and then you can take out the spring, because we're going to reuse all this stuff. Now, I'm going to show you what trick I do here for doing this kind of mod here that I think is really helpful as we're taking everything off. Remove the spring, remove the other washer. Now we'll be able to take off the housing. Let's go ahead and pull the housing out. And now we still have another washer and spring that we're going to reuse. And then the only thing left over is going to be the old rod, which you could keep for future use, throw it in the garbage, do whatever you want with it. But another reason I use a table is, you'll notice here, I have now everything in the order of assembly, moving from right to left. Right to left. We have everything now in the order it needs to be to go ahead and get this thing reassembled. So let's go ahead and grab our new Venom Shooter Rod. and we're going to grab that spring. Again, we're just going in the reverse order that we took things off. We're going to grab that spring, we're going to grab that washer. Now we're going to grab that new faceplate, because this new faceplate's just going to sit on top of the existing shooter rod housing. And don't worry, it's going to get held in place once we get everything screwed in. No worries. Go ahead and stick our shooter rod through the housing. And now we just simply keep going in reverse. We're going to throw that washer on, and then we're going to grab that spring, throw that spring on. This part gets a little tricky because you got to hold the spring back, and you got to get another washer on, and then you got to get that final clip in place. The final clip is fun. Let's see, we got the washer in. Okay, now hold it back really hard. Can be kind of a pain. And then this clip, though, you should be able just to use your fingers and just snap it into place. This is actually a fairly easy mod for people changing out their shooter rods. I've done it before on my Super Mario Brothers pinball machine, so I have had a little bit of experience doing this. So this was pretty cool to show you guys for my Venom pinball machine. Boom, we're all set, baby. Let's take a look. Yep, it's all in there. Oh yeah. And of course, you know, the Venom head will twist around in circles just like any other shooter rod. That looks cool. Okay, now we can just go ahead and get this new shooter rod and housing mounted inside of the Stern Venom pinball machine. Grab the 3 screws we used to remove the old one and just screw it back in. Make sure you check out my last videos, which I have linked below, which show the topper mod as well as some PLAYFIELD mods we did to our Venom pinball machine. And of course, I have side arc blades that are expected to be delivered any day now, as well as base shaker motor, so we got a few more mod videos coming. I'll have a link for this shooter rod again in the video description below. It's sold on Etsy for 125 bucks, and for the fact that this is a simple, like I would say low to medium difficulty mod, I absolutely love it, and I feel it was worth every single penny. I love the way this looks on my Venom Premium pinball machine. Definitely want to know what you guys think. You got to let me know. Give me your thoughts, feedback, reactions below. Hopefully you enjoyed this product review as well as this tutorial guide if you ever need to change out a shooter rod in the future on a Stern pinball machine kind of like this one. Give us a thumbs up on the way out, and thank you for subscribing.